Hello, Math 1. This lesson is on 8.f, which is a very important section on finding the slope of a linear function. Now, if you remember from this unit, right, we talked about slope being the steepness of a line, okay? When we talk about the steepness of a line, we're basically referring to the rise over the run. And what does that mean in the coordinate plane? Well, if I look at this line here, if I chose 2 points on this line, right, a rise is basically going up or down. So this is what we would call the change in y. Because if you're on the y-axis and you're going up and down, the y, it's a difference in y over, now you're changing x. So it would be the change in x. So we say slope is rise over run, or the change in x, or y over the change in x. And to find the change in y, we basically subtract the y values, and we subtract the x values on bottom. Now, with this, the one thing you need to know is here, if you are going uphill, and if you look in the diagram below here, right, if you look at this one, when you are going uphill, that tells you your slope is positive. Now in this other example, if I find 2 points on this line, now to travel from the point on the left to the point on the right, I have to go down. So my change in y would now be negative, and to the right, my change in x would be positive. When you're going downhill, right, your slope is negative, okay? Now, if your line's not diagonal, it's just horizontal, that tells you your slope is 0. Now, we do have what we call an undefined slope, and that's if we have a vertical line. If you have a vertical line, your slope is undefined, right? I like to think of it, if you can walk on it, it has a slope. So again, guys, the number one thing you have to take from this is to find the slope, we subtract the y's and we subtract the x's, okay? So if I had to look here for these type of problems, we're going to use the graph, okay? Now, I always find 2 nice points on the graph, and it doesn't matter which ones you find. If I use these 2 points, right, I always travel from the point on the left to the point on the right. And if I look, my journey from the point on the left to the point on the right is going to be down 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's down 4, right 1. Therefore, my change in y is -4. So it's -4. My change in x is 1. So -4 over 1 would be -4. Now, just to show you here, if I choose 2 other points, so say I choose this point and this point. Now I go down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So I went down 12, and here I went right 1, 2, 3, and if I calculate that, -12 over 3, what does this simplify to? -4. So it doesn't matter what 2 points you use on a line, as long as you count correctly. Now right away for letter B, I'm going to find 2 nice points. And before I even start this, I'm going to identify, is my slope positive or negative? I notice right away I'm going uphill, so my slope is going to be positive. So now all I have to do is calculate the rise over the run. So up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 over 1. 6 divided by 1 is 6. That would be the slope of the line. If I use, say, these 2 points, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 over 1, same thing. So the slope of that line would be 6. Now this one, again, first thing I do, I look, am I going uphill, downhill, right? I'm going uphill, so I know my slope is positive. So now I pick 2 points. I don't care what 2 points. I'll use this one and this one. So again, I travel from the point on the left to the point on the right. Do I have to go up or down first? I have to go up 1, 2, 3, 4. Right, 1, 2, 3. So my slope would be, change in y is 4 over 3. Letter D. Am I going uphill or downhill? I'm going downhill. So right away, I know my slope is going to be negative. So I picked 2 nice points. And I'm just going to start with this one, and I'll use this one. Doesn't matter. For this, I'm going to go down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So my slope is going to be negative 8. So that's down 8. So I went down down 8 and then right 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So negative 8 over 10. Now we should get in the habit of reducing these. Okay. 8 and 10 are both divisible by 2. So when I divide 8 by 2, I get negative 4. When I divide 10 by 2, I get 5. So the slope of that line would be negative 4/5. Now, if I went and used these 2 points, notice, down 1, 2, 3, 4, right 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So if you've picked points that are closer together, there's probably going to be less reducing. So in letter E, as soon as I see a vertical line, right? If I look at this line, vertical line, I know I can't walk on it. Therefore, I know my slope is undefined. Okay? And if I look at this line, I'm not walking uphill. I'm not walking downhill. What's kind of a neutral number? Well, 0. So the slope of this line would be 0. So how do we calculate if we're just given 2 points and not the graph? Well, right away here, you know for all of these, you're going to do y minus y over x minus x. So I'm given these 2 points, x, y, x, y. Now, what you have to understand is whatever point you start with, you have to keep that same order when you subtract the x's and the y's. So I'm going to right away, remember it's y minus y over x minus x. So I'm going to go ahead and start with the ordered pair, 2, negative 4. So right away in my numerator, y is negative 4 minus my other y value is negative 1 over, right? Now, since I started with negative 4 with the y's, I must start with the 2. So 2 minus 4. Now, I like to do what we call bling bling. If I'm subtracting a negative, I bling bling it and make that negative 4 plus 1 over 2 minus 4. Negative 4 plus 1 is negative 3. 2 minus 4 is negative 2. Negative 3 divided by negative 2 is positive 3 over 2. So the slope of this line would be 3 over 2. So for example 3, right? Again, it doesn't matter which ordered pair I start with, right? So all I know to find the slope, I'm going to use y minus y. So I'm going to start with the 4. So 4 minus negative 4 over, now I have to use this x coordinate first, negative 1 minus 1. If I bling bling up top, right? So if I look, minus a negative, bling bling, that becomes 4 plus 4 over negative 1 minus 1, which is 8 over negative 2, and that's going to give you negative 4. So here's one thing I want you guys to see, right? I know at the beginning I had to do, right, 4 minus 4 over negative 1 minus 1. Guys, if you have the calculator, just plug it in the way you see it. So 4 minus negative 4, hit enter, you get 8. Negative 1 minus 1, right away you get negative 2. 8 divided by negative 2, hit enter, negative 4. Okay, now example 4. I'm going to go ahead, do my y minus y. Again, I like to start here. So 6 minus 3 over negative 3, right, minus negative 7. So this time, I have to bling bling on the bottom. So I'm going to bring my calculator out. And right away, I'm just going to go 6 minus 3, hit enter. That gives me 3 over negative 3 minus negative 7, which is the same as negative 3 plus 7. That gives me 4. So right away, I know the slope of this line is 3/4. Okay? If you're not good with, the adding and subtracting, use a calculator. All right, example 5. First thing I'm going to do, slope 1 minus negative 4 over 5 minus 8. So again, y minus y over x minus x. Bling bling up top, I get 1 plus 4 over 5 minus 8. 1 plus 4 is 5 over negative 3. Now, when we see it like that, we should know a positive divided by a negative is going to be a negative, so we should write our answer like negative 5/3. Example 6. I go to find this one. Right away, I do. Slope is 4 minus 9 over 4 minus 4, which is going to give me negative 5 over 0. And if I do negative 5 divided by 0 in the calculator, it spits out an error. That tells you right away that your slope is undefined. Okay. Then, over here, my slope, negative 2 minus negative 2. Again, y minus y over negative 3 minus 6. That becomes negative 2 plus 2 up top, right, over negative 3 minus 6. So 0 over negative 9. 0 divided by negative 9 is going to give me 0. So the slope of this line would be 0. All right. Now, real quick here, we have two forms of an equation. One is slope-intercept form, where m is the slope, right? So m is the slope. Your b, right, we say is the y-intercept. Then, in point-slope form, m is still your slope. So anytime you see m, you guys should know that's slope. Then, a point on the line would be the ordered pair x1, y1. So anytime I'm given an equation, just being able to recognize that m is a slope in front of x, or m is a slope and that's always in front of x. When I look at example 8, y equals mx plus b. Right away, what is the slope of this line? 4/5. Now this one's written a little backwards, right? This is no different than negative 6x plus 9. So what is the value of m here? M is negative 6. Then y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. What is the value of m? My slope is 12. Go ahead, do the student practice, and let us know if you have questions.